Well, I'm Karen Ward. I'm living in Vancouver right now. I'm 37. I'm an artist and a writer and a ex-historian. I live with a mental illness, and it keeps me pretty busy. I live on provincial disability here in BC, and I spend a lot of my time volunteering and making art. I'm a collective member at the gallery Gachet, which is an artist-run center in the downtown east side of Vancouver. We have a large back area, which is, we've got a wood shop, a kiln, we have our computer salon, where we have image editing, image creation, publishing programs, video editing programs. We've got we've got these tools that are necessary. We run officially as a collective. We have one meeting a month. It's this amorphous thing, and we're its members, but it is a composition of all of us as individuals, as well as the history behind us as the gallery. We're unique in the country. We're an artist-run center by and for people with mental illnesses. Gachet was Van Gogh's last doctor. He was a naturopath and psychiatrist. Gachet was his friend in his last years, which were clouded by bipolar depression. Our gallery is themed around mental illness, and trauma, and abuse, and work that speaks to those issues. Let's say, we don't say that every artist who shows must have some sort of mental illness. We're not like prescriptive like that. It's important to us that people have lived experience with mental illness, or understanding paranoia, for example, or understanding the feeling of being an outsider. Outsider sounds simple, but feeling like you've been kicked out of society. I mean, for me, coming out of my experience to date, in a lot of ways, as living with a mental illness, it's very empowering to be able to make decisions and take responsibility, and because so much of the process of being mentally ill in this society is disempowering and takes away your decision making. It's made a huge positive difference in my life. It's very gratifying to see images you make, pictures you make, words you write out in the public. We had a show in February. It was a man who never actually stepped foot in any art gallery in his entire life, and he produced these amazing paintings with stuff he bought at the dollar store, and they were like this intense visionary art on cardboard that he'd found in the dumpster. And you're just like, that's so amazing. You can't even, part of you doesn't want to tell the rest of the world about it. We have a few set shows, such as the Mad Pride. We do that every year, and we'll continue doing it every year. The concept of Mad Pride is about the radical acceptance of difference. And and beyond the acceptance is the idea that there's more diversity of ideas and thoughts and opinions than one is led on. We also have a program called Out of the Rain, and it's a 6-month mentoring program with street-level artists, and the goal is to work with them to create a more stable living environment, artistic space, and access to the arts, which means anything from paint to canvas and supplies and traditional material as well, or if need be, one-on-one tutoring on the computer or training with a camera or what have you. So this program runs for 6 months. The first 4 months is all the first 5 months is all art making and working and interacting with an occupational therapist. And the last month is the show. Yeah, and the artists get a chance to have a group show that they work on the details of themselves, and they can sell their work, sell prints, sell all kinds of stuff. And we've been doing that for a number of years, and it's a really, really awesome program. We don't like to have events that are expensive. Mm-hmm. Like the idea of charging admission for a show is just like, no way would we ever do that. we try to have events that are accessible to the community in like in a unique way, like with, for example, film screenings. We don't have a theater in the downtown east side. People don't generally feel comfortable going to Tinseltown. So we have like a free film night once a month at least, right? And it's just, you know, people come in, oh, it's Tuesday, oh, cool, right? And then, you know, bring popcorn, that's a little potlucky atmosphere, you know, or we'll have an open mic and we'll have people, like, it'll be neighborhood folks mostly, and it'll be really cool. Like, cause you can really, I mean, you really appreciate the creativity inherent in the neighborhood, which, you know, and part of that creativity is it's about how much people really interact with each other. So many of our shows are community driven, and that's a part of art that is really unique, because so much of contemporary art is all about personality and kind of a culture of celebrity. And instead we're doing art with, like, you know, big groups of 70 people in the downtown east side community, right? And it's really, really unique and interesting. And I mean, then we bring in these folks from the neighborhood, start coming in more and more, and then we say, hey, do you want to volunteer more regularly? Then they volunteer regularly, and then it's like, hey, do you want to be a collective member? Would you be interested? And they think about it for a few weeks, and they say, actually, you know, I think I'm ready for that. And that's how we grow and change. Whether you're poor or rich or ill, or, you know, you desire companionship. I mean, I remember reading a study in a journal. It was about, you know, research indicates that, you know, people with schizophrenia enjoy having friends. And I was like,
how unusual.
Oh my goodness, I wonder what kind of shirt grant they got for that. Like, people need community, part of the recovery model. It doesn't happen in an office, it happens in the social world. And that's part of the problem with the medical model is, well, you know, the doctor-patient relationship, and it's, you know, the pathologizing nature of what they do. And the whole concept of getting well, taking your pills and trying to, you know, get, you know, back into things, as it were. I mean, it takes a community, I think. People who are working and trying to fulfill something and are passionately connected to what they're doing every day are, you know, they are not, in fact, terribly ill. They're doing really well, and a lot of people would be really jealous of the opportunity to do that.